Mm. All right, so this is gonna be my first video on the channel. I've had like a million ideas before this, but never gotten around to doing it. And then I was like, you know what? This will be a really easy idea to just I don't know, sit in front of the webcam and talk about, what's going on in my life. And so right now, that is a 5-day fast. So we're at the end of the cut here. I've been cutting since like April. And then I'm going to be, I told myself, I set a hard cut off of September because, you just don't want to be going too long, on a cut, and it's just a waste of time and energy. But I've been really wanting to get down to 175, and I'm at 180 right now. And, I just first tried out not cutting, fasting. Just tried out fasting, like, I don't know, it was about a little over a month ago, like 6 weeks ago probably, I did my first one, maybe a little bit longer than that, but yeah. I was watching Jeffrey Verity Schofield, and he said that he tried a 4-day fast, and it went pretty decently, and I was like, "Sick, I'm gonna try this." I tried it, it was hard, but, I did get the results, that I wanted. Um, and then, since then I've watched more videos from Atlas Power Shrugged about fasting and, his experience with it, and kind of inspired me. And so I also did like a 3-day fast. It was like, meant to be a 3-day fast, but then I realized that like it was going to be kind of a pain to like just with the things I had scheduled to like break my fast on the third morning. So it was ended up being like a two and most of a third day fast. Anyways, and that went like all right, but I didn't notice nearly as much progress, which I mean makes sense, just less time, less fat burned, whatever. And so here I am. I was just like, let's just dial this in, really finish out the cut strong. And also get a little, it's because like I mentioned, a 4-day fast, so this is almost a little bit of a PR, I mean, not almost, like, it is a PR, by one day, and it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be pretty significant, and, I knew going into this it was going to be hard, and so I was like, "Well, what am I gonna do?" Because the hardest thing I've experienced so far with fasting is, like, what do you do during this? Because you get a lot of extra time during the day when you're not, like, thinking about food or preparing food or anything, but the problem is, like, when you're fasting, like, a lot of the time is, like, you're thinking about, like, "Oh, I wanna eat," you know? So you don't wanna just be doing nothing, and just, like, thinking about how hungry you are. Um and so I was like, how am I gonna figure this out? 'Cause it's gonna be 5 days, it's gonna be a while. And, I was like, "I got it. I'm gonna go full monk mode." Um, and at first, what that just was I was just gonna go rucking every day, and just spend a lot of time in the wilderness, which in the woods, which I already think is a great idea on its even just on its own. Um, I started that. I actually started rucking like 2 weeks ago, because I've been rereading, Tolkien. Actually, I'm done with Return of the King. I'm just in the appendices now, but I had been in the Journey Through Mordor, and I was and this is one of the ideas I had, but I think the journey through Mordor for Frodo and Sam was much better done in the books than in the movies, even though I love the movies. Um, and one of the parts that I really love about it is you really get this struggle and you just get a sense of you know, like the journey they're going through and like struggling to get, especially like, you know, up Mount Doom, and then I get to the part where Sam is like, I mean, it's an iconic part in the book and the movie where he's like, "I can't carry it for you, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you. Get up." And then he fucking throws Frodo on his back and carries him up Mount Doom. And I literally read that. I was so inspired. I was like, I need to train so that I can be half the man that Sam is, half the hobbit that Sam was. And so then I looked into rocking, and now I'm doing that, and it's just kind of perfect for me because I already really like hiking, and I don't care too much for other types of cardio, but I love hiking and walking, and I love feeling like functional, and like I'm like carrying the boats, so to speak, when I'm doing like exercise that isn't like gym stuff. Like it just makes stuff, you know, whatever it is, more attractive and more fun. And so then that was just a way to like do hiking, burn more calories, get more cardio benefits, and just and burn, and just have it work better. So I wonder who that is. don't live on a busy street, so then whenever I, like, see a car that I don't recognize, I'm like, "Ooh, who's that?" But anyways, so I was just like, "I'm gonna rock every day." And then that already on its own is pretty good because then I'm spending time in nature. When you're spending time in nature and you're hiking, you're exercising, one thing you're not really thinking about as much is like, "Oh, what food am I gonna have?" Because there's no food around to tempt you, and you're already you're exercising, you're kind of in the mindset, you got the endorphins and all this stuff. Um, and so it looks like they're coming back around. I think they might screw up my lighting temporarily, or maybe not. Who cares? Um, but yeah, and so that was just my initial idea. And then I was telling one of my friends, who's also into lifting and self improvement about it. And he was like, I had said monk mode, and he was like, "Oh, you're just gonna like, like take time off of like stimulation, like not be watching so much YouTube, like, that sort of thing." And I was like, "No, that's not what I meant, but that's a great idea." So then I took it a step further. So now I'm like, I've put my earbuds away. I'm not gonna be listening to any music. I'm not gonna be listening to any YouTube videos, anything like that. I am allowing myself 2 YouTube videos per day. The first one I watch at the beginning of the day. Both I watch on my laptop. I'm not gonna let myself like multitask there. And the first one is Atlas Power Shrugged. I mentioned. I found like a 5-day fast vlog that he did like almost a year ago. Um, and then that's just kind of encouraging for me. So I watch in the morning, and then I feel like I'm kind of going along with somebody. So that's kind of nice. Um, and then second is I'm allowing myself in the evening to watch a natural hypertrophy video, just like a philosophical motivational video. I feel like his videos are pretty like, like they're not like taking a toll on my attention span. Let's just say they're like really long, and he's just sitting and talking about philosophy, and I found them really useful. Um, and so yeah, that's what I'm allowing myself. It's just I've noticed that like YouTube is like one of the like remaining like pieces of the puzzle in terms of like things I need to like improve on. I've already like deleted Instagram a while ago and like been feeling a lot happier and stuff. But as far as like things that I still feel really like, you know, almost addicted to, it's like YouTube. Like I need to find a video, then I can't go to bed. I can't do my nighttime routine without having a YouTube video to listen to, or I can't do this or that without, all this stuff. And so then I'm just like, taking the opportunity, go cold turkey a little bit. So with all that context out of the way, I should actually. There is a couple more things that I'm doing. I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to read more. I mean, my basic rule is like I can do. The only things that I can't do are like not real things. Like YouTube or video games or TV or whatever. Like I can read. I can play instruments or whatever. Or I can hike. Like all this stuff. And I'm trying to meditate. I mentioned that. So I'm trying to read and just do all this stuff more. So with all that context out of the way, how's it going? It's going pretty well, honestly, like so far. I think a big reason is that like I've been doing intermittent fasting for a little while now. So up until 4 p.m., which is when my eating window would start, it doesn't feel that different, or it didn't feel that different just today. It's just like, yeah, I'm not eating like this. It's what I do, like it's normal. Um, I have felt a little bit of hunger, but nothing crazy. I went on a nice long ruck. My like sternum strap broke partway through for my pack, so that sucks. But I'm not gonna let that stop me. Um, it was like 50 pounds, and it was about like I would say like an hour and a half, 2 hours that I was rocking. Hoping that'll get me like 1,000 plus calories burned, maybe. Hope so. Um, to get me to like 30, I would like to be at like roughly 3,500 calories burned per day to like have a clean like pound of fat per day. And it was a good rock. I tried meditating at the top, but it was kind of a nightmare because that particular spot with the bench that I had planned, I'd forgot it has a ton of bugs for some reason, even though it was the middle of the day. And so that was kind of just like, I'd be like meditating. I'm like trying to like feel, and I'm like, oh, like what are you feeling right now? I'm feeling the bugs eating me. And it's like, okay, well, what are you hearing right now? I'm hearing the bugs buzz around while they're trying to eat me. And then it's like, open your eyes. What do you see? And I'm like, I see the bugs eating me. So not very good meditation, whatever. I'll try like a little more before bed probably. Just like 10 minutes or something. Just try and like, I don't know, dial it in a little bit more. And then after that, I don't know, I took a shower and hung out with my best friend for a little while. We played some Magic the Gathering. You know, it was just a good time. I don't know. The hunger and the cravings don't set in too much on the first day, but also on the first day is when you have the most of like, wow, I have 4 more days until I have food, or however much. Like, I actually had a bit like, I woke up last night and I had to pee, but I wasn't lucid enough to realize, like, "Hey, bro, just go pee and then go back to sleep." So I ended up laying awake for way longer than I needed to, and I was just, like, anxious, and that's one of the things I was thinking about, is I was like, "God damn, man, you're not gonna have any food for, like, 5 days, like, what are you why did you do this?" You know? And I was just anxious about that. So that's tough, but as far as, like, since I know first day is supposed to be, like, the most you feel the most hunger or whatever because 'cause you're not, like, in the fasted flow state yet, but, personally, I haven't had that much trouble with it, so, dealing with the hunger from today, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm anticipating it to be, honestly, a little bit worse, but we'll see, and I'm just, like, 20% in, got, another 20% to get through tomorrow. I just gotta, like, avoid thinking about like, oh, I have 4 days or whatever. It's just I just gotta focus on like where I am right now and like what I set out to do and just chasing the goals. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say for today. Just kind of a little introduction. I'll be trying to like post these every single day, record these every single day. Just as a little like I don't know, mostly to stay accountable. I think it'll be really helpful to stay accountable. I don't anticipate people really watching these, but it's a good outlet. And yeah, and then I feel like there was another thing I was going to get to. Um, 5 days. Yeah, focusing on the 5 days. I don't know. My mind's blank. I'm sure the second I turn off the camera, I'm gonna remember it. Oh wait, I can pause the recording. I'm so smart. Okay, I didn't really remember what it was, but it's okay. It probably wasn't that important anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna read and watch that natural hypertrophy video, do a little bit of meditation, and go to sleep, and then we'll attack it tomorrow, and then I'll update you guys again. And yeah, let's get after it.